James Gunn was asked about things about metahumans and other stuff and about his. You can see the press starting to ramp up for this, and he's starting to give more details on story and other things. But here's his explanation on what makes someone a metahuman in the new DCU. James Gunn's Superman is set in a world that's already populated by superpowered individuals. Gunn has provided an intriguing explanation for what makes a character a metahuman in the world of DC. One aspect that, this is from Daniel Klissman. This is a newer writer. One aspect that James Gunn and Peter Safran have been particularly careful about when crafting their new DC universe is its lore. In 2023, for example, Gunn revealed on Threads that DC Studios was creating an incredibly detailed world map for the nascent franchise. Then, while speaking to Josh Horowitz on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast in 2024, Gunn said his focus was world building. Now we've got another bit of lore information from the DCU. This one, however, is much more interesting, seeing as it provides more context regarding the classification of superpowered characters in the franchise. DC Studios recently released a series of character posters for Superman, and Gunn posted the images on Threads and captioned the post, "Our metahumans arrived this summer." A user responded to the post, suggesting that only character in the posters who was an actual metahuman was Hawkgirl, played by Isabella Merced. Gunn then provided this interesting reply. In DC Comics, a metahuman is a human-like being with extraordinary, often paranormal abilities. These powers can arise from a variety of sources, including science, magic, alien origins, mutation, divinity, proficiency, and technology. Director also clarified in the same post who in the Superman cast is a metahuman. Therefore, the character 4 is probably not a metahuman, but Terrific arguably is. Crypto is meta, but I won't say he's not human because he might read this. All right, let me tell you something. First of all, now Gunn quote mentioned DC Comics specifically. The fact that he used it as an explanation for the designation of his DCU characters likely means the description also applies to the live-action franchise. His description makes a lot of sense for characters equipped with advanced tech. Mr. Terrific, for example, may be a regular human, but his inventions give him a considerable edge over regular civilians. Having said that, Gunn's explanation has intriguing and perhaps unexpected implications for non-superpowered characters. The director stated that proficiency was sufficient to designate a character as a metahuman, assuming that proficiency refers to things like athletic ability, scientific knowledge, and combat expertise. Characters like Batman, Green Arrow, Catwoman, Robin, and even Lex Luthor would fall into that category. All right, let me tell you something. And I'm going to make sure that Coy is not on screen for this because I want to say this. James Gunn, as I said to you already, I'm a fan. I like what you're doing. Stop giving this information out on Threads. You have a really good show in DC. Sit down with Coy. Sit down with anybody on that show and get some clips on that channel about this stuff. You use this. Put it towards that marketing money. You get it back from YouTube, whatever it is. Clip it out. Sit down with Coy. Stop answering Joey Boots 75 on Threads. Talk to Coy Jandreau. He's a phone call away. That's all I'm saying.
This is why Kristian and I work together and are friends.
Yes. That being said, Coy, furthering my point, explain what all of that German meant.
So if James had this quote at me, I could have given the eyeline answer of, this is a beautiful way to make it more streamlined for the day-to-day viewer to understand that they're going to make anything elevated a broad strokes term. So people that don't follow the lore can just enjoy metahuman being anything above standard humanity. So he's basically saying this is a world where anything that isn't just a person and is augmented in some way that makes them super heroic or super villainous is a metahuman. So that term is much broader in the DCU than it is in the comics that have 60, 80 years of minutia.
Yeah.
Winston, you were going to say?
Nah, I heard it, and I think Coy explaining it that way calmed me down because I was about to be like, I just like even hearing Mr. Terrific because like he has his tools, but he doesn't augment himself. So that's I hearing it, I was like, I don't know if I agree, but it's his world, so he can do what he wants. But I think Coy's the one that calmed me down because he just was like, if this is going to streamline it so that people can just understand,
yeah,
if you're a civilian, then fine. But if you're fighting either with extraordinary powers or with things that are allowing you to keep up with people with extraordinary powers, then you're considered a metahuman.
What are the three biggest problems I think in the MCU right now are it feeling like homework, it contradicting itself, and it basically becoming a thing where you've got too much lore in order to even be contradicted or do the homework, like the volume of it, right? So I think James Gunn is wisely narrowing down to just like metahuman or not. So that cleans that up. It's launching a universe already in process. So that cleans up the homework aspect. So you can theoretically just jump in anywhere. And then the overabundance of lore, he's smartly building out like a physical map, a world map. So you're going to have the answers to all this lore from the jump. So you don't feel like you're playing catch up or needing to know too much. So things like this are like, how do you solve the MCU problems? And I think that's the benefit of, I think the 2000s comic movies crawled so the MCU could speed walk. And I think the DCU can sprint out of the gate because the MCU had to learn to go from crawling to running. So I think learn from the mistakes that weren't the MCU's fault. It just, no one had ever done a shared universe to that scale before. But why not fix those in the first movie? And so metahuman, not metahuman, clean.
Well, there you go. I still hear this. But a lot of you others understood it. Anyway, put your thoughts in there. What do you think about the explanation? Do you think it's going to be explained well? Do you like the explanation Gunn gave? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Okay, it is great to have Turtle Beach back. And I've been talking about Turtle Beach. You guys have been raving about Turtle Beach, and why wouldn't you? The Stealth 700 headset that I got, it was so great. It just what stood out to me was the sound, man. Like just playing that Indiana Jones game, as I've told you guys, you could just hear every little thing. I love it. And it's just, it locks me in. It's better than the other previous headsets I've had. I don't like being aware that there's other things going on around me. I like being locked into it and hearing every bit of the sound design and just comfortability, to be honest with you. I could wear them for hours. I did. It's almost like they're so comfortable in my head. I was like, oh, I didn't realize I have these things on. I love how precise the audio is. I just feel like I'm so locked into the game when I'm doing it. And it's like that feeling I get when I'm in the theater. I'm just in the world because of the sound. I love sound. You guys know that. The other thing that's great about it is the 80-hour battery. That's crazy. I mean, you don't even feel like you ever have to even charge it. The worst is you're playing something and then it just craps out on you. And you're like, oh, no. The Stealth 700, it has the industry's first ever cross-play dual wireless transmitter system. What it means is that you can seamlessly switch between your consoles and your PC with just a click of the button. It gets even better. While being connected to your console, the Stealth 700 can connect with your phone for music streaming or taking calls at the same time. Listen to your favorite songs while gaming, and it's all done with the Stealth 700. And this is the easy part. You head to turtlebeach.com, use that code Kristian for 10% off your entire order. 10% off at turtlebeach.com with the promo code Kristian. But you're going to purchase it, and then they're going to say, hey, where'd you hear about us? You say, our show. You support our show, you tell them that we sent you, and get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today.